Welcome to Lesson 15.6, where we apply our AI skills to one of the most valuable activities in grant development, prospect research. Finding the right funders is often more important than writing the perfect proposal. A brilliant proposal sent to the wrong funder will fail, while a solid proposal aligned with funder priorities has a strong chance of success. Traditionally, prospect research has been time-consuming and labor-intensive, requiring hours of reading 990 forms, annual reports, websites, and news articles. AI transforms this process, allowing you to synthesize vast amounts of information quickly and build comprehensive funder profiles in a fraction of the time. However, as we learned in our ethics lesson, AI's speed comes with risks. Hallucinations, outdated information, and superficial analysis can lead you astray if you are not careful. In this lesson, we will learn how to leverage AI for rapid prospect research while maintaining the rigor and accuracy that professional grant work demands. By the end, you will have a systematic workflow for building rich funder profiles using AI as your research accelerator. Effective prospect research presents a significant challenge for grant professionals. To identify funders who are genuinely aligned with your organization's mission and programs, you need to understand not just what funders say their priorities are, but what they actually fund. This requires examining multiple sources of information. IRS Form 990S reveal actual giving patterns, grantee lists, and financial details. Annual reports share strategic priorities and highlight featured grants. Funder websites outline guidelines, priorities, and application processes. News articles and press releases reveal recent developments, leadership changes, and emerging focus areas. Each source provides different insights, but the real value comes from synthesizing them into a coherent picture. A funder might state one priority on their website while their 990 shows a different pattern of actual giving. Identifying these discrepancies is crucial for understanding where your proposal might fit. Manually reading and synthesizing all this information for even a single funder can take hours. Researching a dozen potential funders might take days. AI can dramatically compress this timeline while actually improving the comprehensiveness of your analysis. AI's core strength, processing and analyzing large volumes of text, makes it ideally suited for prospect research. While you might spend an hour reading a funder's 990, AI can process the same document in seconds and extract key information you specify. More importantly, AI can identify patterns across multiple documents that might not be obvious when reading them separately. It can note, for example, that a funder's stated priorities have shifted from education to workforce development based on comparing recent annual reports to older ones, or that their average grant size has increased while the number of grants has decreased. This synthesis capability transforms AI from a simple information retrieval tool into a genuine research partner. However, the goal is not to remove you from the research process. Instead, AI handles the data processing that computers do well, freeing you to focus on what humans do well: strategic analysis, relationship building, and creative positioning. You still make the ultimate judgment about whether a funder is a good fit. AI just gives you better information faster. The IRS Form 990 is arguably the most valuable source for prospect research because it shows what foundations actually do rather than what they say they do. Most private foundations must file this form annually, and it is publicly available through databases like Foundation Directory Online, Candid, and ProPublica's Nonprofit Explorer. The 990 reveals critical information that other sources often omit. The grants list, found in Schedule 1 or Part 15, shows every grant made, including the recipient organization, amount, and stated purpose. This lets you see exactly who the foundation funds and for what. Financial data shows the foundation's assets, annual giving, and grant budget, helping you understand whether your request size is appropriate. Officer and director information identifies key decision makers and potential connection points. The 990 also reveals patterns that websites might obscure. A foundation might emphasize innovation on their website while their 990 shows most grants go to the same long-term grantees. This kind of insight is invaluable for prospect assessment. When using AI to analyze 990 data, specificity in your prompts dramatically improves output quality. Rather than asking AI to tell me about this foundation, direct it to extract particular insights. For grants list analysis, try Analyze this grants list and identify the top 3 program areas by total funding. For each area, note the number of grants, average grant size, and largest single grant. Then identify any grants to organizations similar to ours, which focuses on after-school youth programming in urban areas. For financial analysis, based on this 990, calculate the foundation's payout rate compared to their assets. Note whether grant making has increased or decreased over the past 3 years if data is available. Identify any unusual patterns in their financial position. For leadership research, from the officer and director information, identify any individuals with backgrounds relevant to our work. Note their compensation levels as an indicator of the foundation's operation style. These targeted prompts yield specific, actionable intelligence rather than generic summaries. Foundation annual reports complement 990 data by revealing how funders think about and present their work. While 990S show what foundations did, annual reports show how they want to be perceived and where they are heading. Annual reports typically highlight featured grants that exemplify the foundation's priorities. These featured grants indicate what success looks like to the funder, valuable intelligence for positioning your proposal. The language and framing used in annual reports provide clues about how to position your work. Does the foundation emphasize innovation or proven models, systems change or direct service, community voice or expert knowledge? Mirroring their language can strengthen alignment. When prompting AY to analyze annual reports, focus on strategic themes. From this annual report, identify the foundation's 3 most emphasized strategic priorities. For each priority, note specific language they use to describe success and any metrics they highlight. Also, identify any new initiatives or shifts in direction compared to previous years. This analysis helps you position your proposal to resonate with how the foundation thinks about its work. News articles and press releases provide the most current information about funder activities and priorities. While 990S may be a year or more old and annual reports reflect past achievements, news captures what is happening now. Recent news can reveal several types of valuable intelligence. Leadership changes often signal strategic shifts. A new ED or board chair may bring different priorities, creating opportunities for organizations that align with their vision. New initiative announcements indicate emerging funding areas where funders are actively seeking grantees. Conversely, news about initiative conclusions might signal declining interest in certain areas. Events and partnerships show who funders are working with and what issues they are currently engaged on. When using AI for news analysis, try search for and summarize any significant news about the Smith Foundation from the past 12 months. Focus on leadership changes, new initiatives, major grants announced, and any shifts in strategic direction. Note any controversies or challenges the foundation may be navigating. Current intelligence helps you time your approach and reference relevant developments in your conversations with program officers. The ultimate goal of AI-assisted prospect research is to build comprehensive funder profiles that support strategic decision-making. Rather than having scattered notes from various sources, you want consolidated profiles that answer key questions. A strong funder profile should include foundation overview with mission, geographic focus, and program areas. It should document giving patterns showing average grant sizes, number of grants annually, and total annual giving. Strategic priorities should be listed based on both stated guidelines and actual giving patterns. Key personnel should be identified, including program officers, board members, and their backgrounds. Connection paths note any relationships, shared board members, or mutual grantees. Finally, include a strategic fit assessment with your honest evaluation of alignment. You can prompt AY to synthesize a profile. Using all the information provided about the Smith Foundation, create a comprehensive prospect profile following this structure. Include specific data points where available and note areas where additional research is needed. This profile becomes a living document you update as you learn more about the funder. Here is a complete prompt structure for funder profile synthesis that incorporates our rhetorical prompting method. Persona: you are a senior prospect researcher at a nonprofit consulting firm, known for your thorough analysis and strategic insights. Context: I am researching the Smith Foundation for potential alignment with our organization, an after-school youth development program in urban Chicago. I am providing you with the Foundation's most recent 990, their 2023 annual report, and 3 recent news articles about their activities. Task: synthesize these materials into a comprehensive funder profile, include giving patterns and priorities, key personnel and potential connections, strategic fit assessment with our organization, recommended approach strategy, and any red flags or concerns. Constraints: be explicit about confidence levels. If information is uncertain or sources conflict, note this clearly. If key information is missing, identify what additional research is needed. Prioritize actionable insights over generic descriptions. This structured approach produces profiles that are both comprehensive and practically useful. Now we must emphasize the critical importance of verification, a theme from our ethics lesson that applies with particular force to prospect research. AI can and will hallucinate details in research synthesis. It might confidently state that the Smith Foundation gave a $200,000 grant to your peer organization when no such grant exists. It might list a program officer who left 2 years ago or describe priorities that are outdated or invented. These errors could be embarrassing or damaging if you act on them without verification. Imagine mentioning a non-existent grant in a conversation with a program officer or referencing a departed staff member in your letter of inquiry. The rule is simple: never trust AI summaries without verification, especially for specific facts that you will act upon. Grant amounts, grantee names, personnel, and dates should all be confirmed against original sources. Think of AI output as a research guide showing you where to look and what to look for. It accelerates your research by identifying relevant information, but you must verify before relying on specific details. The three-source rule provides a practical framework for verification in AI-assisted research. For any key fact that you will act upon, verify it against at least 3 independent sources. If AI says a foundation prioritizes workforce development, confirm this by checking their 990 grants list for workforce-related grants, their website for stated priorities, and their annual report for featured programs. If all 3 sources align, you have high confidence. If sources conflict, investigate further. Cross-reference every AI claim against original documents. When AI summarizes a 990, go back to the actual 990 to verify the specific numbers and grantees mentioned. When it describes annual report themes, skim the actual report to confirm. Prioritize primary sources over secondary. The Foundation's own documents, 990, website, annual report, are more reliable than news articles or database summaries, which may themselves contain errors. Finally, document your verification process. Note which facts you have verified and how. This creates an audit trail and helps you recognize when you are operating on verified versus unverified information. One of AI's greatest advantages in prospect research is enabling efficient batch processing. Instead of spending hours on a single funder, you can quickly assess dozens of potential prospects and focus your deep research on the most promising candidates. Start by creating a standardized profile template that captures the key information you need for initial assessment. This might include basic funder information, primary program areas, geographic focus, typical grant size range, and initial alignment assessment. Then use AY to create quick profiles for your entire prospect list. These initial profiles will not be as deep as full research profiles, but they will help you prioritize. A prompt for batch processing might be: using the provided information, create a brief profile for each of these 10 foundations, focusing on their relevance to youth education programs in the Midwest. Rate each foundation's potential alignment as high, medium, or low with a brief justification. From this batch assessment, you can identify the 4 or 5 highest potential prospects for deeper research. This tiered approach maximizes the efficiency of your research time. To maximize the value of AI-assisted prospect research, integrate it systematically into your workflow with clear phases and defined outputs. In Phase 1, batch screening, use AI to quickly assess a large number of potential funders against basic criteria. The output is a prioritized list of prospects worthy of deeper investigation. Expect to process 50 to 100 prospects and narrow to 10 to 20 for Phase 2. In Phase 2, deep profiling, create comprehensive funder profiles for your top candidates using the synthesis techniques we discussed. Verify key facts and assess strategic fit thoroughly. The output is detailed profiles with approach recommendations. Expect to complete 10 to 20 deep profiles and identify 5 to 10 strong prospects. In Phase 3, cultivation strategy, use your deep profiles to develop approach strategies, identify connection paths, craft initial outreach messages, and plan relationship building activities. The output is actionable cultivation plans for each high-priority prospect. This structured workflow ensures that AI's speed translates into strategic action, not just accumulated information. As you integrate AI into your prospect research, understand its limitations and maintain ethical boundaries. AI cannot access real-time information unless connected to web search tools, and even then, it may miss recent developments. Always check for current information that post-dates the AI's training data. Many valuable research sources, including Foundation Directory Online, specific funder databases, and detailed 990 data, require subscription access that AI cannot provide. You will still need to access these sources directly and provide the information to AI for synthesis. Respect privacy boundaries in your research. While Foundation officers and board members are legitimate research subjects, detailed personal information crosses ethical lines. Focus on professional backgrounds and public activities relevant to your work. Most importantly, never fabricate connections or misrepresent your research findings. If AI invents a relationship between your board member and a Foundation trustee, acting on that fiction is unethical. Verify all connection points before leveraging them in cultivation. Let us consolidate the key lessons from our exploration of AI-assisted prospect research. First, AI dramatically accelerates prospect research by processing and synthesizing large volumes of information quickly. Tasks that once took hours can be completed in minutes. Second, use structured prompts that target specific analytical needs. Vague requests produce generic outputs. Targeted prompts yield actionable intelligence. Use the rhetorical prompting method with persona, context, task, and constraints. Third, always verify AI outputs against original sources. The three-source rule protects you from hallucinations and errors. Use AI output as a research guide, not as verified fact. Fourth, integrate AI research into a systematic workflow with clear phases, from batch screening to deep profiling to cultivation strategy. Structure ensures that speed translates into action. Fifth, human judgment remains essential for assessing strategic fit. AI can provide information and analysis, but you must determine whether a funder is truly aligned with your organization and programs. In our next lesson, we will apply AI to another high-value application, program design and logic model development.